Hello and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg with episode 2 of Nioh 3. We're picking up where we left off last time, heading to Hamamatsu Castle and making our way through this region of the game. It's not as easy to get lost in this game as it is in other games. So if you see me going back and forth, it's not necessarily because I'm lost, although sometimes, yes, it is because I'm lost. It's actually because I'm also interested in looting everything that I could find. This is only the second episode, but I'm liking it already. Still have to give me one more episode to really lock in on the various controls and stuff like that. It's been a long time since I played Nioh 2. And after 3 months of Crimson Desert, adjusting to the new controls is just tricky. I guess it would have been less tricky if I'd actually taken like a week or two off. But I did a couple of bonus episodes in Crimson Desert, so I really didn't give myself time off. I was away for a week on a business trip. But then I came back and went right back to Crimson Desert to get the true ending. So I didn't take time off in terms of trying to get the controls out of my head. So anyway, on to this game. So some of my memories are coming back. I have to remember to key pulse, which is R1, which is different from realm shift, not realm shift, but that shift thing that you do when you go from samurai to ninja. That wasn't an issue in the previous game because you only played as a samurai, so it's a little bit different, different mechanic. And I guess you can, if you want, even though the character, Takechiyo, I think is his name, he starts off as a samurai. He's going to be appointed, well, possibly along with his brother, was going to be appointed, one of the two would be appointed shogun. Okay, this is his campus. So it took me a while to remember what to do with these things. So you try to pet them, and they take off like that.
Ah, that would be a scampus. A cat-like yokai just like myself. Much more rotund than I, though. Why don't you go ahead and give it a pet?
Yeah, so we're supposed to chase it down. Of course, we have to loot. You're supposed to run after it. It will lead you... It doesn't really lead... Well, I guess it could lead you to a treasure chest. But it'll lead you to the end of... You follow it for as long as he runs away. And it can be annoying. And it will lead you to either a treasure chest or some pile of loot. Now, I'm not sure I did that in this clip because I got tired of running after him and couldn't remember exactly how long I'm supposed to follow him. So there are lots of those little things in the game. You have the Scampus, you have the Jesus statues, you have the Kodamas, you have this, I think this is new, I can't even pronounce the name of the thing. I'll show you when we get to it. This flying around thing turns into a cat when you shoot it out of the sky. It looks like a cat. Might not be a cat. But in any case, so you'll have opportunities to get plenty of different loot type things in the game. And you should do them because when you're exploring the region, it'll give you the 100% exploration. where you can. There may be some things in the region that you can't do at this point, and you end up having to come back later. But at least you can still get your 4 out of 4 in terms of exploration and things like that. I think there's certain things you have to unlock. Okay. I don't know why I stood there looking at this guy throw this thing at me. I am likely going to be using a lot of Onmyo magic. I did that in the first Nioh. I can't remember whether I used this same kind of build in the second Nioh. Ouch. Yeah, if I was close and dodged to the side, when he exhausts himself doing that move, you can get some good hits in on him. And the purpose for key pulsing is to also fill up your gauge, your guardian spirit gauge. And you fill it up faster the more you key pulse when you're fighting enemies and stuff like that. We learned that at the dojo in the first episode. It might take me a while to sort of incorporate that as something I should always do when I'm fighting. I think I'm much more focused on my stamina regen and stuff like that. So I end up looking at that bar saying, okay, I need to regenerate stamina or I'm going to get hit. Especially if I'm dodging around a lot. Or if you're holding block a lot. Yeah, he's going to do the same thing. So eventually I got tired of following him around and decided, okay, once I figured out what to do, then I did chase him around. One of the things that you're not seeing is after the first episode, I did go back to the first region we were in and cleared it. It was the lowest level region on the map. So when you look at your map, they have numbers assigned to them in terms of strength of the area. And while the game will continue to progress you beyond the area, for exploration's sake, because like it's a semi-open world, you may as well just clear the entire area first. It gives you an opportunity to level up. Okay, what was that? Oh, this guy. So it gives you an opportunity to level up. Maybe find some new gear. The game is incredibly liberal with gear. Very, extremely liberal with gear. There's an area of this that we're in. We're supposed to be heading to Hamamatsu Castle. The problem is we're not going to be able to get to Hamamatsu Castle because of the Crucible. And it's something you have to complete in order to progress. As you can see, you can't explore the map further beyond that point unless you complete the Crucible. And I'll explain more when we get there. But there'll be we'll what am I saying? We'll explain more when we get there, but we're not going to complete the Crucible in this episode. In the next episode, and I'm going out on a limb and making a big promise here, we're going to do the entire Crucible. Now, how long that takes me depends on how difficult the bosses are. They are going to be more difficult than any of the bosses we've faced in the world so far, and any of the bosses we'll face in this section leading up to the Crucible. And we have not faced a real boss yet, by the way. We faced a couple of tutorial bosses. I think there's one more that's really a field boss, but a main boss. That first main boss that you come to will be at the end of the Crucible attack. And what you're going to notice is that while that main boss in the Crucible is going to be the most difficult boss you've faced so far, there are other bosses in the Crucible that will be more difficult than everybody you've faced as well. Now, there may be people who are far more expert at Nioh than I am. And like I said, I haven't played I think it was like, oh my God, it's like here, at least more than 5 years ago when I played Nioh 2. So I don't remember when it came out. So it's been a long while. I mean, it was a fun game. I remember that. I remember doing the DLC and not being able to complete it because the DLC was so much more difficult than the game. All of a sudden, you're fighting these enemies, and then you'd have these duel fights, this fight with the husband and wife team that you beat as individuals in the actual game. I'm like, I struggle with them as individuals. Now I got to fight them as a group, or as a pair. So that was really tough. So there is no difficulty setting on the game. I guess in some respects, that's what makes it Souls-like. I don't consider this a Soulsborne type game. I know some people do. I'm not quite sure why they do. But like Soulsborne games, there's no difficulty setting. Maybe that's why they consider it that way. Not every difficult game is a Soulsborne game. So I know that there are people who sort of categorize them that way. That's not really true. Because you can end up with difficult games that are nothing like Souls games. The idea that there's no difficulty setting just says that when you are struggling with a boss, it may be because you're underleveled. It may be because you're underleveled, or it may be because you are ill-equipped. You don't have the right equipment on, whether it's armor or whether it's the right weapon or any of those kinds of things. So, like, I guess this is another way in which it could be like a Souls game. So in those kinds of games, you have to get good, right? That's what they tell you. You just have to get good. And for people who, for my ADHD friends who just don't have the patience for that kind of stuff, I think a lot of people would just quit. I've never quit a game. Not well. Let me put it this way: I never quit a game because of difficulty. I did not finish playing. What game was it? I can't remember it now. It was basically a fighting game, and I don't really play fighting games. It's just all fighting. Okay, so like I said, I want to get all of these up to 10 before then sort of locking in on a skill set. Now, you can reset these anytime you want. So if for instance you're struggling with a boss and you think that Constitution or something that strengthens your weapon is a better setup for you right now, then you could do that, and then you can just change it later. But I'm going to try to stick with getting them all to 10, not one at a, in a way it's one at a time, but not necessarily going 10 and then go to the next one that only has 5 and have to work up to 10, but sort of spreading it across to level them off as I move up to 10 or 11. We'll see how that works. I don't know whether it'll work or not. These enemy bases gives you good loot. So you want to clear them. In this case, there's only 7 enemies in this, and to be honest with you, I haven't found. I think I did one other one that was 5. They're not difficult to do. If you kite the enemies away. Oh, well, okay. I might have to restate that. My point was, if you kite them away one at a time, then it's easier to take them on. The other thing is, once you get into the camp, there's usually one. This might actually be the tough enemy of the camp. Interestingly enough, because they're little scrub enemies, and then there's a really difficult, at least one really difficult enemy in the camp. This one seems sort of tough for, the first one. So you can go into the camp, climb onto a roof, and just snipe them. I don't have the rifle yet. I have a bow. I think what I'm going to do is give the samurai the rifle, and the ninja will keep the bow. Right now they both have a bow. I haven't found a rifle yet. And you can snipe them. Like I said, you can. I think the only other kind of arrow that I see in the game is an incendiary arrow. There may be others later in the game that we find, and there may be some that we can craft. To get to the point where you have this home hub where you can do crafting, all of that kind of stuff in your own hub, you have to get through the Crucible. So if you're wondering, well, why can't I do that now? Well, because the castle we came from was burned down by Yokai, so we can't go back there. And the next area, the next point at which we get those little benefits requires us to achieve that, right? Ouch. So the game wants you to sort of work towards it, get some skills, prove that you're worthy, get through the damn Crucible, and then a hub will unlock for you. So basically that will become your home base. I don't know whether it'll be a second home base at some point later in the game, but that's your home base at this point. At that point. This is episode 2, we probably won't see that until episode 4. Because episode 3 is going to be Crucible. Trying to think what else is in there. There's a vendor. There's a blacksmith. There are like 4 or 5 NPCs in there. The ninja master is there as well. Hondo. I can't remember his last name. He's there. And I think the person who teaches you Nioh magic is there as well. So it's definitely worth, well, you can't not get there, first of all. So no matter what you do, you're going to end up there at some point. It's just a matter of whether you can get through the Crucible. Like these little enemies here, they're weak enemies. I can't promise that I can headshot them and take them out in one shot, but there are some enemies that you can do that. I think part of it may be whether or not, and actually this bow is the strongest bow in the game so far. We found this when we defeated the guy at the end of the last episode, the Crimson General. We have his bow. Again, that was a tutorial type boss, so. But I think you have this whole set. The problem is the weight is off. So I can't use his entire set. So there are things with better stats, but if you want the whole set, okay, I guess I should lock onto this guy. if you want the whole set, then you probably are going to have to add points to the attribute that contributes to your ability to carry higher weights. So what I think I'm going to eat. I think I'll eventually do, and I have to make a note to myself to do this because I don't think I'll remember on my own, is to show you guys my stats at the beginning and at the end of a session. So you can see my progress through the particular section that we're doing at that time. So my stats, my equipment, at the beginning and at the end, is what I've been doing and editing it out is every time I find something, I then go and equip it. But then I edit that out because I think no one wants to see me constantly equipping new enemy that I find in the game. And so I think what I'll do is only do that at the end. Unless I find something that is categorized as like legendary or something like that, then I just feel like I have to do it. But most of what you're finding in the game is a slightly better stat, like something maybe 32 defense, and you find something else that's 33 defense. Every time I've done that, I've just kept changing them. You'll notice the map is red. That's because you're in this enemy base. Once you clear the enemy base, the map turns normal again. So we have a shrine. No, we don't have a shrine. We have a chest that seems to be shielded. I guess that's our reward for defeating all of the enemies in this camp. So there are only 2 of them left. And that sort of foggy area in the middle is the final one. Of course, I went ahead and triggered the stupid final one before I found number 6. So this would be number 7. So we still have that one that we need to do. Ouch, he hits really hard. And when I'm exploring on my own, what I think I'm going to do is go through and fight all of the little red marker people. Because you get cups from those, the cups you use to summon people, and you sometimes get really decent armor. And you get Amarita, so you can level up. I think early in the game I was just walking past all of those. But as you'll see when you get into the Crucible where you actually will need help, it makes sense to sort of do those. Even if they're a level higher than you. I mean, I haven't found too many that were lower than me in terms of levels. I think that most of them are going to be at my level or above. I didn't even see this guy. wonder if there's going to be a piece of armor that allows me to detect enemies in advance. There's going to be armor that allows you to detect treasure. But I wonder whether there's going to be something that allows you to detect the enemies. Because I was walking right, I didn't even see this guy until he started making the roaring noise. Okay, we captured the base. That's the message you get when the base has been captured. A chest is unsealed, so you get to go to that chest. A Kodama shows up, and you get an arrow. So there's a benefit to doing this. I don't know how many Kodamas are in the game. There's a limited number of Kodamas in the game. It's not like there are 3,000 of them, but I don't know how many there are. In both of the previous games, I found them all, which meant I was able to get all of their blessings. I'll try to do the same thing in this one as well. I'll try to pay more attention to the map. In fact, probably on my own time, I'll just go back and look at the map to make sure I've gotten everything from each of the previous areas that we would have been in by the time we get to the Crucible. I'm still learning along the way, and I'm like, wait a minute, I should have done this, but now I'm beyond that. Do I want to go back now, or do I want to go back later? So there'll be this is the exploration stuff I was talking about, and this is the map. So this is a recommended level 8, right? But we haven't completed the recommended level 6. This is what I was referring to earlier. And the next one is recommended level 10. That's where Hamamatsu Castle is. So because I was following the path that the game laid out, I wasn't going back and doing as much of the exploration as I could have, or as I should have. But the good news is, this is very early in the game. This is only the second episode, and now that I know that, I will, from this point on, be clearing the entire area. Okay, Dweller Soul Core. I'm trying to think whether I have to figure out how I'll edit this, or maybe I won't worry too much about it. Maybe the key things I'll keep, like for instance, finding the Kodamas, finding the Jesus statues, doing those kinds of things. But going through every house and every village. Well, bring her talisman. Okay. Maybe I won't show that, or me getting there, because in some cases it's just me traversing the map, and I'm like, okay, I need to edit this out. It's going to take me, a minute and a half to run across this area. I don't think people need to see that, because there's nothing that's going to happen in between. Once you've looted everything, there's no horse. There's no. Once you unlock the shrines, though, you can fast travel between points. So if you're going back and forth, like I ended up having to do because I didn't complete these in order, then sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, I've already done that enemy camp. I don't need to be over here anymore. Let me fast travel to the next area because I've already unlocked that fast travel point. So that actually can work to your benefit. In some cases, you might want to run to that other point simply because it's closer to the boss that you're going to fight, versus dying and then having to do a major run back. The shrines don't show up until you're I think fairly close. So you do have to explore. You know, as you can look at the map and you don't see any shrines, and then you get close enough to it, and then they begin to appear on the map. If they haven't been activated, you click on it, it'll tell you it hasn't been activated, or tell you it's locked. But at least you know where it is at that point, which means you could go there and unlock it, and then it gives you another fast travel point. See, like this stuff I'm doing now is the kind of stuff that I probably will end up not doing in future videos. I sort of feel like, okay, every time I find something better, I should equip it. Okay, I just wanted to see what that was like. I didn't really need to use that now, and I probably shouldn't have. You can deactivate it, but as you can see, I've used up 2/3 of it fighting this little scrub guy that I didn't need to use that for. Dude, really? Okay, so I have shurikens. I don't have kunai yet.
What's going on? Ah! Yokai! Don't come any closer!
I guess they did not survive the yokai attack. Okay, there's a little chest. This is the kind of stuff that makes you that validates your desire to explore. Right? You run around, you run around, run around. There's probably nothing in here, but let me check. And all of a sudden, there's a little chest in the corner. Okay, that thing looks like it's not something I should be fighting right now. Although it probably will drop something very good if I did fight it. Actually, that would be true only if I was able to survive the fight. Yeah, stamina regen is probably something I'm going to need to invest in. I think either that or I have to stop holding the block button and just learn to deflect. Now, obviously, if you deflect enough times, you will get your posture broken because your stamina will go down, especially if you have an enemy that's just constantly wailing on you while you're trying to block. Deflect, I think, is probably the better way to go. And I believe there are some skills in the skill tree that will help with that. So knowing, my weakness in these kind of games, there's a Kodama in there. Okay, how do I get to you, buddy? I see you. You're right there. Okay. So if you can't open the door, then maybe there's a drop down on the roof. Let's see. Grab more loot. Game is in.
Is that a target I see? We ought to try shooting it down.
Okay, there's a hole in the roof. There's another door. Let's do this one first. Little scrub enemy in here. What are you doing to that poor little Kodama? Hey, buddy. Go to your people. There are a couple of them waiting for you. And you get the Kodama merit that you can use to gain some blessings once you get back to the shrine.
Ah, a Kodama. Is it lost? Perhaps it's been separated from its companions.
Yeah. We took care of it. So yes, you want to find all of them. The blessings are pretty good. Some of them are defense focused, some are offensive focused. Some will give you greater health on heal, those kinds of things. So you can choose which ones you want to invest in. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm ready to fight that guy. Okay. So the answer to the question of am I ready to fight that guy is nope. All right. Yeah, my bad. I had a feeling I probably shouldn't fight him. So you go and you go to your grave and you retrieve your guardian spirit. You can call them back, but it costs you money to call them back. So if you ever get stuck and you're like, I need my guardian spirit, but I don't want to go back into that area where that particular enemy is, you can go to the shrine and call them back, assuming you have Amarita to spend. I really should level up. One of the dangerous things that I tend to do in these games, which is not very smart of me, is I'll be walking around with enough to level up once or twice, and then get killed, and then go back and continue walking around with this stuff and get killed again, and eventually just lose it all. And then get frustrated with myself for doing that. Like, well, you knew all you need to do is go back to the shrine. It was like right there. Why didn't you do that? He's got skills with his weapon. I always think hitting them with one of the fire bombs will distract them while I run in and try to get a death blow on them, but that's not necessarily true. They tend to sort of just fight right through that. So the better move is always to get behind the enemy, even the boss enemies. It's always better to get behind them if you can. The humanoid ones are a little bit easier to contend with, right? It's the giant creature ones that are a lot more intimidating. And you just feel like at any point they're going to do that red burst attack and kill you. Or they have some elemental damage that they can do. Okay. So again, humanoid enemies, not really a problem. To me, it's good practice. Right? If you're sort of struggling with the deflect and those kinds of things, I think it's awesome to go out here in the world and fight those kind of enemies and practice it. Because when you get to the bosses, you're going to be busy running for your life a lot of the times. All right, see, this is what I mean by the shrine. You have to be fairly close to it, and then you'll get the message, and then you begin to see it on the map.
There's nothing left here.
I don't know whether there's
Taro, take your mother and make for the ferry. You might yet find some food there.
Okay, we're insatiable hunger. Yeah, we're not going to the ferry yet, because that's going to take us to another area. Okay, so this is the next shrine. Another core. We're going to find tons of these soul cores. And they're going to be useful for unlocking other skills as well. Or other, I guess, talismans and magic stuff that you can use. So I won't worry too much about them at this point. Okay, there's another scampus. Alright, buddy. Are you gonna lead me to my death? Yeah, you stay right there. Let's go up, see what's up here.
What's that in the sky? It's massive. Is Takeda behind this too?
We are heading there. That that thing that we saw in the sky.
The closer we get, the more oppressive the air becomes. It must be that strange creature's power. This is no ordinary yokai we are dealing with.
Nope, it's not. It is in the it's in the Crucible, and we're heading there. So we're basically working our way through the outer area to get there. So we will get there. Like I said, at the end of this episode, we will be at the start of the Crucible, and then the next episode is fully devoted to the Crucible. And you can get an assassination. Interestingly, the assassination did not actually kill the guy. I love the fact that these throwables are replenishing over time, so you don't actually have to go out and find them. I don't think that's necessarily...
No better time to snatch valuables than when everyone's distracted.
I don't know whether that's true for bullets, but we don't have a gun yet, so I'm not going to worry about it at this point. But certainly for shuriken, I guess the other two are the fireball is an Nioh skill, so it's not really. Wait, I think there's a Kodama over there. That side. Oh, of course you're locked behind some door that I can't get to. All right. I think part of the reason I struggled in this little section is because this is all an 8 region, and I should have completed the 6 region first. But it's okay. You know, that's something that will be remedied, so by the next episode, that will no longer be an issue. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't mean I'm not going to die, and that the enemies aren't going to get me and all that good stuff, because they probably are still going to get me. Okay, so how do I get in here? Looks... Is there a window over there? This is here for a reason, so let's go up. Let's grab this stuff. Can I jump over there? Oh, or is it on the other side? It's on the other side. Okay. Yep. So I have to drop that. Can I jump up there? No. I have to go through the other side. Got it. Tantalizingly close. Here we go. Hey, buddy. I found your sister. Got another Kodama merit.
Goodness! So there were indeed others.
Of course.
Maybe if we help them, they'll favor you with their blessing.
All right, Captain Obvious. All right, we have another chest. Ninja locks, so we can unlock a skill. So we're gonna find the ninja locks for a ninja, and then we're gonna find the item for samurai as well. So again, exploration is, I think, important. All right, so this Hamamatsu area is a level 10 area. Four levels of exploration. And that's where the game wants you to go. So in some cases, you have to ignore where the game wants you to go and go back to an area that's maybe weaker, or actually I shouldn't say weaker, an area that's on your level. This thing hit me in mid-dodge. There is a jump attack that it did it again. You've got some super long reach that I can't really tell. There was probably a much simpler way of taking care of that guy. Okay, we came from the area behind us because the Kodama was in one of those buildings. So let's check out over here. Yeah, the only thing is it will show up on the map when you get the treasure hunter's mask or whatever it is, the headgear for that, are the treasure chests. It won't show all of the other little loot that you can find around the game. And that loot is pretty obvious. I mean, it's not like, oh, I didn't see that shiny object over there. So whether you want to go and get it or not is a different story. It may be that it's not worth going and get, and I think early in the game it's always going to be worth getting. I can't promise you that by the time you get to 80% of the way through the game that you're still going to be picking up loot like that. When you unlock the hub after the Crucible, you can break down the weapons and gear that you don't use. So you have a choice. You can either sell that stuff to the vendor. I don't really think you need to do that, or you can break it down for stuff that the blacksmith might actually need to improve your weapons or to build a new weapon. Okay, so once again, I didn't need to do this. Let's deactivate this. Wow. It takes a lot away. I mean, even though when I was still active, it showed I had a lot left. I actually should have timed it to see how long my Guardian Spirit actually lasts. Is it like 30 seconds? Is it a minute? It doesn't feel like it would be a minute. So it may be somewhere along the line of 30 seconds or so. And I know that there are some things that you can get throughout the game, probably later, that will extend that. And also that will strengthen your Guardian Spirit. So if this is Guardian Spirit level 1, you're probably going to find a higher level Guardian Spirits as you move through the game. I don't know which one is the best one. I'm sure people have an opinion about which Guardian Spirit is the best. In some instances, it may just depend on your playstyle or things that you like. Okay, what are you? Oh, you're one of those slimy water things. So do I have a fireball? Yeah. So typically you can dispense with these with the fireballs. I'm guessing I could have used an incendiary arrow if I had one as well. For a little while it looked like that was a tunnel. I don't know whether we're ever going to be able to do anything with these amber crystals. They're all over the place. These little flying insect creatures will spew poison at you. Actually, I'm not sure whether they spew poison or whether they ejaculate poison. I'm not sure. I don't think it comes from their mouth. I think it comes from that little stinger thing. Okay, so we are, and you can see the quest marker up top on the map, so you sort of know where you're going. So you have a general idea of the vicinity you're heading in. In some cases, you have to go around because you can't just go directly there. Another one of these guys. And these are harmless unless you just stand there and get poisoned by them. You can actually jump up in the air as a samurai and fight them. You actually do the jump thing while you're swinging. You'll stay up pretty low for a bit of time. I find using the shuriken is probably the best way. The bow and arrow, they move too quickly for that. They don't do an awful lot of damage. So in some cases you can ignore them. In a situation like this, you might not want to ignore them because stench. All right, that's what it's called. It's not poison. Stench. While you're fighting this guy, if he's sort of stenching at you, and then you go to heal, the heal will not be as effective. So it's probably a better idea to take them out as soon as you can, if you can. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by that, especially if you have a bigger enemy. If you have the bigger enemy, you know, pretty low on health. Ouch. Oh my god. They're gonna kill me. Alright. I'm trying to get to the big one because he doesn't have a lot of health left. But this little guy is driving me crazy. So he's out of the picture. Okay, that. And you have another soul core. You're going to be picking up plenty of soul cores. I'm guessing they'll get better and better as the game goes on, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I need to take every single one of them and do something with them. You don't. I'll end up with far more than I actually need. Okay, on the left screen there is the Crucible. You see this Hamamatsu post, and you see the marker. That marker is just before you get to the Crucible. And you have to do the Crucible in order to get to the actual Hamamatsu Castle, so there is no avoiding that. But before we get there, let's do a little bit more scrounging around and exploring. I don't know why the ominous music is playing. Let's level up. Feels like it's going to take me forever to get to 10s across the board. But we'll do it. As long as I so as long as I stop dying along the way. Yeah, that's the one thing. And I guess that's true for a lot of the games. If you die once, the game is forgiving. If you die twice, it's less forgiving, and you lose everything. Now, I guess that's one way, and another way in which this game is Souls-like. So I don't know. Maybe it's more Souls-like than I'm giving it credit for being. If you die before you get to all of your lost souls, same thing with Elden, all of those games. If you die a second time before you get there, you lose it. And one of the things about the areas you've already explored, all right, so we have 10 to use. So these are the sort of increased damage dealt with our elixirs. So we're going to do that. These are the other ones. Elixir drop rate is probably something I'm going to want to invest in. Medicine efficacy is another one. Let's do that first. Okay. So this certainly makes it worth going in, finding all the kodamas that you can find, because that way you end up with as many buffs as you can possibly get. Okay, so we want to get to that marker, which should be the next shrine. So I'll probably use markers quite a bit to make sure that I'm going the right way, especially if I'm not following the little roadways in this game. Okay, still making progress. Some more enemies, a couple of them. I think I'm leveling up at a point now where some of these little scrub enemies don't bother me nearly as much as they did initially. So these little flying things are going to be an issue. Alright, buddy, what are you doing sleeping in the mud? No worries. You know, it's funny because in some parts of the game, no area is really safe. You look down and you say, "Oh, there's nothing down there," and then this happens. Right? The little mud creatures pop out of the water. I'm assuming that those little mud creatures are very susceptible to fire. Well, let's test the theory. Let's grab these items first. Hopefully it'll hop down so I can get a better aim. Let's loot all of this stuff while we can. Did you drop down? Yes, you did. Alright, let's see. Yep, fire does real damage. Nice. Makes sense. You know, I will say that it doesn't always work this way in games. You know, sometimes you look at an enemy who should be weak to fire, and then you use it, and they're not. And you're like, what the hell? Got that enemy. You see that little flying thing over to the right? You can't see it now. It moved. It's near one of the trees. Well, we're going to get them anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. We need to work our way around. This is blocked off by these little crucible spikes. When you see the spikes, there are certain parts of it. Oh my God! Where'd you come from? There's certain part. Now, these spikes you can't really do anything with, but there will be other areas of the game where you have these crucible spikes. Basically, they're mini arenas, and you go in and you fight waves of enemies. And then you're able to destroy the spike. The spikes will not respawn, by the way. Once you destroy them, they're destroyed. And I forget what prize you get, but once you do it, you've done it. A hero Kodama in one of these buildings. Oh no, it's not in the building, it's on the roof. How do I get up there? Okay, so I cannot work around from that side. Alright, before we do that, let's see if we can't rescue this little guy. Question is, how do I get up there? I guess I can go up and jump across. Let's see. I'm just checking out to see if there are any hidden okay, so that takes us to the other side, but there's still an area that's blocked off. Okay, so we got two enemies and we have the little flying bugs. We have a chest. I think we can get this chest without being seen. Oh no, not a chest. We have some benevolent graves. Let's call this guy. Let's grab this item. That is how we get to the other side, but you can't do that, I think, until you defeat the enemies on this side. No, I don't think so. I think that carries me through across that bridge. I probably didn't need that guy for this. Oh, no, I changed my mind. I probably needed him for this guy. Still not repulsing enough. Okay, that worked out. Let's grab his heart, or his soul core. Grab this item. We have another one of those cups. You can never have too many of those. Yeah, I don't think I can get I think I feel bad about leaving a little Kodama on the roof. Let's take this guy out first. I'm trying not to aggro those enemies on the other side. Okay. Alright. It's cool, since they're two of us. Should make this a little bit of a fairer fight. The other guy comes into the Pulse Burst, Reg, Pulse Burst. Let's go back. Grab my grave. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, you take one, I'll take the other. Okay, much better. Okay. Oh, this guy. We need to take him out. He's not even paying attention to us. You can zoom, by the way. R3, and you can sort of zoom in a little bit. I don't know why I didn't. Okay, so okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted them both to be engaged. So you take that one, I'll take this one. Come on over here. I don't want you to aggro the other guy. Ouch. Why did you bring him over here? I was trying to keep these two separated. What are you doing? Let's take this guy as a stronger guy. Let's deal with him first. Okay. Alright, worked out anyway. Alright. Okay, not bad. Man, Yokai tore this town apart. Okay, we have some ninja locks. Nice. Door doesn't open. Enemy over here. Oh, a couple of them. Take that one, I'll take this one. Yeah, my samurai outfit is not really regenerating. Not regenerating my ki or my stamina fast enough. There we go. My ninja outfit is doing a little bit better. Okay. Good. Let's cross the bridge. Maybe there's a shrine over here. Oh, I guess there is, because up ahead is
like hell
the
itself.
Crucible.
Damn that Shingen.
Who would have thought they'd prevent a retreat to the castle like that?
Show yourself!
Sheath your blades! Lord Ieyas, is this not the person mentioned by the messenger from Hitakoto Slope earlier?
Oh. Takechiyo. You are the samurai who fells yokai.
I trust you'll be able to rid us of this crucible. This way. I am now Tora. I will guide you.
Okay.
Beyond lies a realm different
The
from
Hamamatsu
ours.
incident.
That of the yokai. None who
Enter
have
the
entered
Crucible.
have ever returned. We call this accursed land the Crucible.
It can't be! Is this truly the castle town?
Item, and there's a shrine ahead. We're gonna grab that. This is the level 10 area. Exploration 0. So core. We're gonna level up as well, since I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose all of this. Yeah, see, this is a level 10 area, and now I'm level 9. I'm still under level for this. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that. I'm going to correct that before we...
Yokai subject humans to terrible torment, turning countless souls into spirit stones. But the light within you should be able to purify the Crucible. Please, trust in me and lend me your strength.
So... in the Crucible and the Lesser Crucible, Yokai attack you more powerful. Yep, we know that. The Emerita gauge will fill more quickly. That's nice. So we're going to go in here, and then we're going to wrap up, because the Crucible is not something we can get through in short order. So we're going to wrap up. We're going to hit this Bodhisattva save point, which is coming up over here. And I will see you guys in episode number 3, The Crucible. Thanks for joining me in this episode. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming, with uploads every Tuesday and Friday through the end of the series. We will continue. It's a fun game so far. Thanks again. I will see you in the next one. Bye.